Okay, then in this video we'll talk about functions. So in Python, a function is a block of code which only runs when it's called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function, and a function can return data as a result. So I think that's enough theory relating to functions. Let's implement a very simple Python function. So in Python, a function is defined using the def keyword. So I'll show you how. So you need to write this def keyword, and then function name will be followed. So I'll say greetings. So then what we need is just a statement to print out hello world, because this will be our first function in Python. So as you can see, that's a special keyword for defining a function. This one is a function name. And then in here, I have just a single print statement. That's it. You can have more than one statement. That's totally fine. But in my case, it's very basic function. So let's run this function. So if we just say py and then main.py, nothing happens, because once you create a function, you need to call it. Because as I mentioned before, I said function is a block of code which only runs when it's called. So in here, we're not calling a function. That's why it's not printing this hello world. So let's actually call a function. And we call a function by using a function name like this. So if I run my code now, it's gonna print hello world. You see, it's hello world. So this is a very basic function. You can also specify a parameter in the function. A parameter is a variable listed inside the parentheses in here. Okay, inside the parentheses. So let's say we would like to say name, and then let's print out this name. So I'll say, instead of hello world, I'll say hello and then name. That means this function accepts a parameter, and now I can pass a value to this function, and that value is called argument. So let's pass very basic argument or string in my case, which is Ikram. So it should print hello Ikram. So let's check. You see, it's printing hello Ikram. So again, this one, when you define a function, you declare a parameter or more than one parameter. That's fine. If you have 2 or 3, or you can have as many parameters as you want. And when you call a function, it's called argument. Okay. I would like to point out in here one very important thing. If you have more arguments than the parameters, Python will throw an error. So if I say in here as a second parameter Anna, Python will throw an error. You see, greetings take 1 positional argument, but 2 were given. So in here we are passing 2 positional arguments. That's why Python is not happy about it. So now you can also specify a default parameter value. That means if you call the function without argument, your function will use the default value. So for instance, in here, instead of just name, I will say stranger. Why? Because if we forget to specify to pass this name to our function, it's going to use a default value, which is stranger. Okay, so now let's say I forgot to specify an argument in here. It's going to be hello stranger. So you see, if you specify a value, that's fine. So you can say, for instance, Anna instead of Ikram. That's fine. You can also specify an argument like this. So it's actually the same as just, you know, specifying string. So as long as you follow the order, that's fine. So we'll talk about, arguments and keyword arguments, or arbitrary arguments and keyword arguments later on. For now, just understand that you can call a function like this, or you can specify your argument in this way. Okay, so both are essentially the same. So now, I would like to mention one more thing relating to arguments in here. You can send any data type as an argument to a function, and that argument can be string, number, list, dictionary, etc. And your argument will be treated the same data type inside the function. So for instance, let me quickly create a function, very basic function, which is gonna be my fruits function. So I'll just print whatever you pass to this function. So it's gonna be fruits, and then print, and then fruits. So now let's pass a list to our function. So fruits list. So we'll quickly create a fruits list. So it's gonna be apple, and the second one is banana. Now let's call our function and pass our fruits list. I just want to do that just to show you that whatever you pass to the function, you will get the same inside the function. So like this. You see, apple, banana. So if you pass just a string in here, so instead of this one, if you pass, for instance, cherry, like this, it's gonna be string inside the function. You see, it's cherry inside the function. So now the next thing I would like to talk about is you can pass as many parameters as you want. So for instance, instead of these, you can say, for instance, fruits, and then vegetables, like this. And then you can specify your vegetable in here. So for instance, I don't know, potato. So, and let's print this one in here as well. So you see, cherry and potato. So that's it. This was the very basics of creating and working with functions in Python. So, and I will see you in the next video.